Hi everyone, we are here at Snowflake Summit and I'm super excited to be with Mihir who looks after the partnerships at Alitmetrik. Mihir, welcome to the Ravit Show. It's your debut. I'm super excited to chat.
Hey, I'm excited to be on social media. This is going to be awesome.
Awesome. Mihir, quick question for you since we are here at Snowflake Summit and I know you look after the partnerships. But before we get into the partnership with Snowflake, I would love to know a little bit about your role, what you do at Alitmetrik, and then we get into the Snowflake partnership.
Yeah, sounds great. So, um, my role is data partnerships. I lead partnerships for Altimetrik, really focused around Snowflake as one of our big partners for data.
Yep.
We have some of the other partnerships we're also doing, and then some of the smaller boutique partnerships in terms of data vendors that we can connect with to be able to drive more of that holistic view, right? Because you want to be able to get not just the big vendors, but the smaller things and how do you kind of create the entire ecosystem around it.
True.
So that's what my role is. My background, I'm a ex-Salesforce. I was there for many years, did a lot of different things, and then data was one of the last piece that I did around our cross-cloud work, and because of that, I'm now in data.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mir, for sharing the background there. What about Snowflake? What's the partnership looking like? I'm kind of curious to know how are you all helping the joint customers as well. Tell us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, like Snowflake's been awesome. Like in terms of partnership, working with them has been awesome. Like we've been able to connect really well with kind of their CTO teams, the global field CTO teams, and how do we kind of think about the actual solutions, right? So if you look at an example is this one right here that's in here, right? Like we've talked about how do we take stories in the retail space for things like lifetime value of customers. A lot of these commercial use cases Snowflake's really good at. So how do we now help their customers and our customers take AI and data together? And that's really the story. I mean, that's what everyone's talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the storyline today, right? And that's where we're starting to now look at like how do we build something a little bit more as like a joint solution, like where are the opportunities that we can help accelerate their customers, Snowflake's customers and our customers together
very
to
important.
be able to drive that value.
Yeah, I think that is definitely very important in terms of for those enterprise leaders out there where they can get best of both the worlds from Altimetrik to Snowflake.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of curious to know a little bit about the challenges too. What were the challenges that you all were seeing in the enterprise world that kind of obviously made you all more curious to be working together, but at the same time also make sure where they kind of feel confident that yes, Altimetrik and Snowflake together kind of makes us cross the river very easily.
Yeah, no. There's zero challenges in the enterprise space. No, I'm just kidding. No, like in all honesty, like I think if I look at the type of customers we work with in the Snowflake ecosystem, a lot of it's been around consumer goods, retail, as well as like supply chain use cases in terms of how you do that. And some of these customers are also in like healthcare and other industries. The biggest thing, especially in retail and consumer goods, is everything is disjointed. Like I've got 15 vendors I'm working with to be able to do ad tech versus my CRM for my sellers versus my distribution or my order system or whatever the case may be, right? Everything is disjointed, and one of the opportunities that I see here with what Snowflake does as a data platform and the stuff that they're now building on top of this is really cool. And I think to me that is the value prop of why we're able to kind of bring this together. And even just here, like the conversations we've had with customers in the retail space, we just did a session yesterday, and there was a lot of good feedback. They're like, this is what we want to get to. This is like my pain point. So how can you help me, right?
Yeah.
So it's been awesome from that perspective.
Fantastic. No, I think going in as a team kind of always helps the enterprise leaders to make sure that they can get best of both and kind of obviously get through all the challenges that they have. Also, one more quick question I have is around the next the space is moving very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you have enterprise leaders, customers who always ask you about, oh, AI implementation, we have like so many different things in AI, and then it kind of keeps changing very quickly too. How are you kind of solving that for the enterprise leaders when it comes to moving quickly in AI, but at the same time also the implementation process kind of takes a toll on them sometimes?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. Look, I think if you think about like history of enterprise solutions, right? We did a lot of SaaS. Okay, great, awesome. I'm going to go sell to the IT team or the business buyer, and I'm going to be able to now make this available to you. And then you see there's a lack of adoption. People aren't using it. They're not seeing the value out of it, right? And the same thing with AI is going to be even more important because you're working on the human perception of what AI is going to do to someone and their job in some cases, and then also what it can actually do and how it ties into the business. And to me, the biggest thing around this is AI needs to be in the flow of work of where the user is.
So true.
I was at another conference that Zeno hosted last week in Seattle, and like some of the execs came in and said the same thing. It was like without with AI, if you're not tying the business change and the business like adoption with it, it's not going to work. And I think this to me is super critical because of how we approach AI. It has to be in that flow of work. And I would say the second piece of that then is how, to the point you were asking, like it's changing quickly, right?
Changing quickly, right.
So like, okay, today I've got this, tomorrow I bet OpenAI is going to come in tomorrow and say, I've got something
So
totally
true.
new.
So true.
So now how do we approach it, right? So our approach to how we do some of this work is also flexible teams, because without that, this way if something new comes in, we can iterate with the pace of technology as well, without being like, oh my God, this is what we talked about. No. Let's go build the right thing for you, right? And that's kind of where adoption, business user, and then rate of change. Just got to put it together.
Love it. And if folks want to also leverage the opportunity to learn more about what Snowflake and Altimetrik does together, where can they find that? Is there, you put out blogs, you all have like demos that they can take as well? Anything that you can share?
That's a great question. So I should have like the slide show up here. But anyways, in terms of the offers, one, go to the website, alitmetrik.com. We got a bunch of stuff there. Second, we actually have a bunch of frameworks we've built. So those are starting points, right? So the starting points are essentially things like, how do I create this customer insights type framework as a starting point? We have another one which is essentially agentic framework on how do you connect all the dots with the hyperscalers like Azure, AWS as an example, and then with Snowflake as kind of the data layer. How do you connect that and create this multi-agent framework? So we've already built that because we've done that work for a bunch of customers now, and it's pretty cool. And it's common, right? Those core basic building blocks are similar. And then the other one that we have is like around multimodal frameworks, right? So we've put together, look, there was a quote, or there was a saying, like Kevin, who's like the CPO of OpenAI, the future is not writing. The future is this, talking, right?
True.
So I think the systems are going to change to us talking, and the AI is going to go do the work for us, right? And I think that's where it's heading. So how is multimodal fit into this? And those are some of the things that we're putting together.
That's a very good point that you mentioned, and I totally agree. It resonates with us as well pretty well. Like sometimes people ask us that, Ravit, are you not already using agents to capture everything that you're doing on a recorded interview as well? Are they not already creating drafts for you for LinkedIn or for other things as well? That's something pretty, needed, in the space right now we are in. So it becomes interesting, right?
And it goes into your flow, right?
Right.
Then tomorrow you're just going to say something, do this for me.
It just does
the whole thing.
And we train models as well. Like right now, obviously I'm playing around with AI a lot because obviously we're in this space where we have kind of seen that need where now is the time you want to get into it and then, scale from here. So such great points you've mentioned about, having it in your business workflow. It should be a part of it. Talking is the new thing that we'll be doing with AI, and it should be doing your work. And one last question I have for you. You've shared some amazing insights, but one last question is, if folks want to reach out to you, how can they do that? Is LinkedIn a best place?
Reach out to LinkedIn, absolutely. Let's connect. Let's have a conversation, altimetrik.com, go there. Let's chat and figure out how we build cool stuff together.
Thanks, Mihir, for doing this, and thanks for sharing all the great insights. Looks like you all have fantastic partnership with Snowflake, and you all are doing amazing things in this space. Can't wait to see what's next. I've been obviously also talking to customers from Alitmetrik, getting some insights from them as well, how they're using agents, how they're kind of, being one team, Alitmetrik, and the clients that you all work with, and then getting into the bigger, obviously pool of AI and helping the consumers out there. So thanks for doing this. We'll
Yeah.
keep the conversation going. But
Awesome.
such a pleasure hosting you on the Ravit Show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you everyone for joining us today.